What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have an Icarus Week 46 update. This week, they have made several changes to armor, a little more about the open world, some bug changes, and more. Let's get into it, shall we? Icarus Week 46, Armor Revamp Number 2, Icarus Week 46 Update, Armor Durability Balance plus Open World Q&A. Armor Durability has been rebalanced as part of our new revamp, along with new mission, bug fixes, and open world Q&A. This week we are introducing the second phase of our armor changes and improvements, addressing durability and resistance and how armors are dealt damage alongside characters. Our goal has been to simplify and structure this system in a way that allows for scalability and better tiering of armors and more situations to use them in. We've also gone through our top 250 tickets with some community members and addressed a few that were quick and important wins for the game. At the bottom, we have also included a briefing for your new mission, Spelunking Assisted Stockpile, and a Q&A for the upcoming open world game mode. So we've had some armor durability changes, guys, and this week they wanted to tackle some issues we had with the armor balance. In the original implementation, we have only processed durability loss based on how much damage the armor absorbed. The higher tier armors, which naturally resist more, ended up taking significantly more durability damage because of this, and the resulting perception was that cloth armor appeared more durable than the composite armor. For example, if the bear delivered 100 damage and your armor provided 50% resistance, 50 damage would go to your character's health and the other 50 would be applied to your armor. However, if you had 25% resistance on your armor, only 25 damage would be dealt in the armor and 75 to your character. This meant armor with more resistance would lose durability considerably faster. In addition, this also meant the damage which wasn't resisted at all resulted in no durability loss being dealt to the armor. This limited our ability to provide new situations and scenarios where players would need to factor in their armor set before proceeding, making the armor choices and access to better armor more important to general gameplay. To rectify this and make it simpler to balance armor sets compared with one another, they've changed this to no longer take into consideration how much damage was resisted, rather simply how much damage was dealt at the source before any resistance was applied. In the new format, the bear would deliver 100 damage to the armor and 50 damage to the player with a 50% resistance higher tier armor set. With a lower tier 25 resistance set, it would deliver 100 to the armor and 75 damage to the player. This means that we no longer need to give higher tier armor excessive durability values in order to be perceived as comparingly strong gear. This is an important factor with the addition of new sources of durability damage, albeit typically low values such as storm damage that would have been of no significance otherwise. So what all does this mean? Basically, this means that your armor and you take different damages based on your resistance. So you're going to be looking for gear that has a higher resistance to take less damage. We'll see how all these armor changes go in the future. So they are looking at the community feedback you guys are going to be giving them this week. So let them know if you don't like the changes to the armor this week. They are stating that this should reward players who keep their gear maintained and make investing in higher tier armors feel more worthwhile. And ultimately they can introduce new gameplay mechanics to take this even further. So changes from the top 250 future upvote tickets. They were working with some Discord community members on sorting through their top 250 future upvote tickets and choosing some quick wins and larger tasks, which may have flown under the radar to roll out this week. Looks like crafting tables will now be on pause when inventories are full, preventing the loss of items which are finished crafting would be popped out into the world nearby. So basically now when you're crafting something, it won't pop out and you'll lose it or misplace it. It will now just pause the crafting. Debuffs reducing maximum stamina no longer prevent jumping, notably in ice caves. This also means players can jump repeatedly while out of stamina to better navigate rocky terrain. This is pretty cool. So this means you no longer can get stam lock where you can't perform actions, which means that you can always jump. You should be able to always jump. And they fixed a couple of issues preventing progress in Payday and Voyager. Restarting the prospect won't be needed for those fixes. fixes. We also have a new mission this week, Spelunking Assisted Stockpile. They added a new mission for you to tie off week 46, requiring you to explore Icarus caves and hidden crevices. It's kind of designed a little bit for newer prospectors, and they kind of give you some workshop gear to even the playing field. So our new mission is over on Olympus this week. And it's right after Livewire Terrain Scan, and you could go to Spelunking Assisted Stockpile. Explore caves to collect ores.
They need boots on the ground to do the work that no one else will.
You go to a stock ship as requested by the workshop team, collect ores from the surface, and collect some ores from the inside nearby caves. And you can also get free tools from the workshop team. So, completion of this mission is 150 on medium, and 225 on hard, 300 on hardcore. Open world mode Q&A. With the open world very close to being added to Icarus, yay, we wanted to cover a few pressing questions the community had since we originally announced it. And I'm going to go over these just really quick, guys, for you. Will I be able to leave in my dropship and come back? Yes, you can leave and return to your open world session at any time. Can I have multiple active open world sessions? Yes, you can have multiple active open world sessions going at any time and multiple sessions of the same map. What is happening with my existing Olympus outpost? Don't worry, your existing Olympus outpost will convert over to an open world session when the update goes through. Can I personalize the difficulty settings for my open world prospect? You can set your difficulty just as you have been doing in outposts up to this point. In the future, you will be able to adjust difficulty on the go, which is pretty cool. Will resources regenerate? Resources in open world will not regenerate at this time. However, this isn't set in stone, and I expect this in the future in a different format than outposts currently do. So this means that your Olympus outpost, which is now going to become an open world, will not have resources that respawn. Make sure you tell them in the upvote how you like that. Are there world bosses in the open world? Yes, and they will respawn as well. Is it possible to leave and return with a different workshop loadout to and from my open world prospect? Yes, this is possible. Can I earn exotics in the open world?
How about no?
No, exotics will not spawn in open world currently. Are open world sessions stored locally? Open world sessions are saved locally on your PC's hard drive. Can a prospector who joined my open world host it themselves later? No, the open world session will stay with the original host. Can you choose your landing zone in the open world? Yes, you will be able to choose from an array of available landing zones when dropping in, so you don't have as far to travel to your chosen building location. Any multiplayer team members will have to follow your landing zone selection rather than selecting their own. Can you choose a different landing zone when you return to the map, or are you locked into one? No, you are locked into the landing zone you choose on your first descent. Why didn't you leave Olympus as an outpost? We want Outpost to be a controlled sandbox environment with respawning resources where players can test and create builds. We felt the Olympus Outpost was leaning more towards the future of open world than our vision for Outpost, and belonged in that part of the game. Expect more updates to this more to reflect this intention. How are open world and missions related, and are there plans for it? Currently, open world and instance missions are separate, but your character can switch between the two for now. If you run a mission on the map, you won't see any buildings from your open world session, which means if you build on your open world session, you won't see any missions on the map. It'll be just like missions are now. They say that that might give you an unfair advantage in some missions. However, in the future, they do have plans to tie these modes more closely together, allowing a seamless experience between the two. And guys, we have a photo we've never seen before in the changelog. In the new content section this week, they updated the armor damage equation, reduced all armor durability values by 50% as part of the armor damage mitigation refactor, added the Spelunky mission and everything for it. And in the fixed section of the update, they tweaked the chat box for readability. They did a lot of stuff with the messages and view distance and whatnot. Looks like I did a lot of spring cleaning on assets and unused assets. They fixed cave worm spawn on reload. If a player saves and reloads inside the cave, then cave worms previously killed do not immediately respawn on load now. Crafting jobs are now aborted if output storage becomes full instead of previous behavior where each item was dropped into the world. So that means that if you have a full inventory on your bench and you go to make an item, it won't actually make that item. Instead of shooting the item out into the world, it just won't make the item. As you can see, it wouldn't craft another set of screws. Hide UI function now works while you're mounted. Looks like they fixed Payday. You can now hide the UI while mounted and in photo mode. We go on to mention a bunch of things about UI, on death, enabled, enabled, all that. And then they go and say, this means that the game is playable to a large degree when the UI is hidden. Looks like fixed Voyager. And in the future content this week, looks like they're working a lot on the landscaping and whatnot of the expansions. Submitting Dead Prospector with Aging Variants BP's test. SM Breakable Scoria. All variations, mesh, material, blueprint, and textures update. I'm not quite sure on that one. Let me know in the comments down below if you know. Add a version of cropped tomatoes, and it looks like their growth stages and whatnot. Add a new crafting recipe for Tier 2 mission communication device. Submitting deer variant, including carcass, fur, and winter variation. That'd be cool. Exotic delivery radio, static plus destructible mesh, textures, materials added. Added a new exotic delivery interface item which can call down an exotic delivery ship. That would be awesome. They did add some new quest steps for Prometheus missions. Adding all base implementation setup for the Bat Dog, all data table entries and base montage and animation setups. Just to let you guys know about Bat Dog, supposedly Metal had stated that this was what Bat Dog was supposed to look like. Supposedly this was leaked somewhere. And guys, don't forget we have our Discord. This is kind of the heart of the community. We post really cool stuff in here, some nice screenshots and whatnot, and just whatever photos of what you want. And we got a little something for everybody. We also post information about our streams on here. So join our Discord if you want. Talk about working on Prometheus, adding transport pod, base class, exotic delivery, and supply pod inherit from this. Allows for common functions in each class. And they mention a new exotic delivery interface item which can call down the exotic delivery ship. Adding cheat functions for setting, getting account flags. They're swapping contaminated bear creature to be Bat Dog in Prometheus intro mission. Looks like we'd be going up against Bat Dog in the first mission. Talk a little bit more about the Needler. Adding in an alien fossil cave temp. Ooh. Alien stuff, finally. That new predator bird setup and new swoosh animations. Still missing the behavior and dive bomb logic. Adding the potato foliage assets. So we got tomatoes and potatoes mentioned this patch. Here's what I find extremely interesting. Adding some pre-built bases for missions. Adding tech for providing pre-built bases for use on terrains and missions. What does that mean? Adding the new swamp and volcanic atmosphere types. And that's the end of this changelog. And guys, we recently have reached 800 subscribers here on the channel. Thank you guys so much. And don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. No certain reason why. Just a goal. It's good to have goals. Did you guys know I had a Twitter account? Yeah. I do. We also have our other food channel that I've been trying to do some more content for. Just Try Stuff. And of course, as we mentioned before, our Discord community, which I believe is the heart of the community for the channel. Thank you guys so much for your support and watching the videos. You'll keep watching them. I'll keep making them. And also, don't forget, we have a subscriber stream coming up this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, about 16 hours from the time this is being recorded. If you ever wanted to say anything or talk to us, you could pop in. Every one of you guys are invited to pop in and say hello if you wanted to. And we're also going to have people playing with us if they want to. And we'll see you then, guys, at 9 p.m. And guys, that's it for this week. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like the video, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.